Hello, everyone. The bad news just arrived. The police were suspended from work, causing the whole family to be shaken. But the person who lost control the most was the adoptive mother. Regardless of right or wrong, she immediately rushed to the house of the girl suspected of being involved. Her angry face and loud screams caused the whole neighborhood to be in chaos. What will this confrontation lead to? Early in the morning, the sunlight was still weak. Hang sat quietly on the porch, her face unusually pensive. Mom and Sinnhat walked out, both looking at each other with curiosity. "Why haven't you gone to work yet?" Mom asked, her voice mixed with worry. Nhat looked at him curiously. Hang tried to hide her tiredness. "Today, I have the day off." The sentence seemed gentle, but it suddenly made the atmosphere quiet. Something was wrong. Knowing that Hang was fine, Sinnhat's mother breathed a sigh of relief and turned to say, "Then you stay home and rest. Let Nhat follow me to the forest to find bamboo shoots." Nhat obediently nodded and held his mother's hand. Hang looked on, a strange, indescribable feeling welling up in her heart. After his mother and Sinnhat left, Hang sat silently on the porch. Hang sat on the porch, his eyes distant, as if he was gnawing at a growing doubt in his heart. Although he appeared calm on the outside, his mind kept wandering back to what had happened yesterday. The more he thought, the heavier his heart became. Everything had happened so suddenly, so obscurely. When his mother and Sinnhat had just disappeared behind the trail into the forest, Hang jumped up. He couldn't wait any longer. He rushed into the house, grabbed the keys, and drove to where the incident had happened. He had to see for himself, was there anything being hidden? At this moment, in the middle of the quiet forest, Mother and Sinnhat had reached the familiar bamboo root, a place where young bamboo shoots usually grow. But today, the atmosphere was strange, as if silently foretelling an ominous sign. At the same time, Hang had arrived at the scene of yesterday's incident. Standing in the middle of the empty land, he looked around to observe every detail. Strange traces on the ground, broken branches, the gloomy cold air. Everything seemed to be still there, but something was being hidden. Hang clenched her hands, feeling that this was not over yet. After a while of looking at each footprint on the ground, Hang still couldn't find any clear clues. Everything was too clean, too quiet, as if someone had deliberately erased all traces. He couldn't sit still. Hang immediately climbed into the car, gripped the steering wheel tightly, and sped to the house of the girl who had accused him. As soon as he got out of the car, Hang stepped forward, her eyes sharp as knives. "Why did you do that? Why did you hurt me?" His voice growled, a mixture of anger and pain. The girl stopped, her face pale. Hang continued, "I never touched you. So why did you make up a story, causing me to be suspended, causing my family to be turned upside down?" The atmosphere in the house became stifling. The girl awkwardly stepped back, her eyes blinking rapidly. Hang took another step forward, her eyes never leaving the trembling person in front of her. He needed the truth, now. The girl stepped back, her voice trembling but still trying to act tough. You jumped on me and hugged and kissed me. You groped me. What else do you want now?" Her eyes were red, her hands clenched her shirt. "Go away. If you stay here, I will report to the police again." Hang stood still, her hands clenched, her lips pursed until they bled. His eyes did not leave her, as if he wanted to penetrate that trembling mask to find the truth. But the more he looked, the more he smelled the strong smell of lies. "Then report it," he said as he pulled her away. The girl suddenly shouted loudly, her voice filled with panic, "Let me go. Do you believe that I will scream for the whole neighborhood to come?" The ear-piercing sound tore through the tense air like a guitar string. Hang paused. Her hand dropped, but her eyes were still cold. He gritted his teeth. "Then come to the police station with me. You have to explain clearly. I did not lie to you, and I will not let my honor be buried because of that slander." The girl shook her head, retreating. "No way. I am not going anywhere. Go back now, or I will really scream." Her face at this moment was a mixture of fear and stubbornness, as if she was trying to push him away from some dangerous boundary. Hang stared at her for a few seconds, then clenched her lips and turned around abruptly. Hang left, but his mind was still reeling with unanswered doubts. Something was wrong, very wrong. Seeing Hang had already sped away, the girl immediately turned around, took out her phone from her pocket with a slightly trembling hand. Her eyes changed completely, no longer panicked but cold and scary. She dialed the number, put the phone to her ear, and whispered, "He just came to find me and left. Maybe he's going to your house." While Hang, the resilient police officer, was facing danger alone to find justice, deep in the jungle, Sinnhat and his mother were still carefree searching for bamboo shoots. The two of them crouched under the tree canopy. The sound of birds chirping echoed in the peaceful space, completely unaware of the storm that was waiting. Nhat lifted the leaves, his hands shaking from fatigue, but he still tried to smile when he picked up a bunch of young bamboo shoots. Her mother looked at her with loving eyes, not knowing that at home, Hang was struggling to find justice for herself. The line between peace and danger at this moment was just a fragile thread. Hang left the girl's house in anger, but instead of going back, he immediately turned around and drove straight to the witness's house, the one who had turned his life upside down. As soon as the door opened, Hang roared, "Why? Why did you come forward to testify falsely?" The guy was startled, but Hang didn't let him say anything. She rushed forward, her eyes blazing. "I was suspended from work. My entire career was almost lost. What scenario did you and she create behind my back?" The witness stammered, trying to avoid. I just said what I saw." Hang snapped, her voice booming like thunder. "Saw? Then why didn't you tell the truth? What did you get? Money? Or were you threatened?" Silence. He lowered his head, his hands trembling. Hang stared at him, each second like a knife cutting into the suffocating silence. "If you don't tell me, I will find out. Then it won't just be me. You will also have to pay." He clenched his lips again, his eyes evasive, refusing to say another word. That silence was like a fire adding fuel to Hang's anger. He growled, "Okay, you won't say, but I will investigate everything." Turning around and leaving, Hang stomped her feet on the ground. His eyes were cold and fierce like a knife. The anger in his heart had turned into an oath. Even if he had to turn over the past, even if he had to face anyone, he would reveal the whole truth. As soon as Hang disappeared, he curled his lips, the corners of his mouth curving into a sinister smile. In the dark room, he muttered through his teeth, "I will make you lose everything." One by one, his eyes flashed, full of calculation and hatred. Meanwhile, at the small house by the forest, Sinnhat and her mother had returned, each carrying a basket of bamboo shoots on their backs. Smoke from the kitchen rose. The sound of firewood crackling echoed in the peaceful space. This time, they did not intend to sell them like usual, but kept them to cook for themselves. Bamboo shoots were just put into the pot, smoke billowed out. Mother and Sinnhat sat resting under the porch. The sound of rain falling covered the whole mountain forest. Suddenly, from afar, a figure staggered towards her. It was Nat's mother-in-law. She stood there in a daze in the pouring rain, her whole body soaked, her hair disheveled, her face pale to the point of being terrifying. This time, Sinnhat and her mother did not coldly dismiss her as before. They looked at her wet from the rain, exhausted, with regretful eyes, and slowly gave way under the porch. No one said anything, but that silence contained one thing: they had begun to accept her. While the three of them were sitting on the porch, talking about how Hang had been acting strangely these past few days, the mother-in-law's eyes were worried. "It's like she's hiding something." Before she could finish, the door opened. Hang walked in, drenched, her eyes unusually cold. Seeing Hang enter, her face tense, her eyes dark as if she was suppressing a terrible anger, all three people in the house were confused. His foster mother worriedly asked, "What's wrong with you? What happened? Tell me." Hang sat silently, then gritted her teeth, uttering each word coldly. "I was suspended from work." What? His mother screamed. He recounted everything. The blatant false accusation, the false testimony, and even the fact that he had sought out the witness to question him. When he heard everything, his mother's face turned red, her eyes burning with anger. They dare to ruin my future like that? She roared, her voice trembling with anger. Without anyone stopping her, she stood up and walked straight out the door into the pouring rain. Where are you going? Hang panicked. I'm going to that bastard's house. How dare you harm my son? I will make him pay 100 times over. Her voice was filled with murderous intent. The atmosphere in the house instantly froze. The real storm had begun. As soon as she reached the gate, Hang's foster mother saw the girl carefreely drying corn, a carefree smile on her lips as if she had never caused trouble for anyone. Her eyes were bloodshot. Her heart felt like it was about to explode. Unable to control herself, she screamed and rushed straight into the yard like a whirlwind. You bastard! What did you do to my son? Why? Why did you hurt him? The girl was startled but quickly calmed down, her voice cold as ice. Your son raped me in the middle of the street. Now you're here to question me? That sentence was like a knife stabbing straight into her chest. Her eyes were bloodshot, her hands clenched until they bled, her voice roared like a wild animal. Do you believe I'll kill you? Do you know how many times I've been in jail for people like you? I'm not afraid of death. You dare playing with my son? The girl still did not back down, even curling her lips in challenge. If you're good, then kill me. Or are you a policewoman who only knows how to threaten? She trembled, every muscle in her body tensed. There was only one thought in her head: tear this poisonous snake apart immediately. But she gritted her teeth and held back. No, she could not make a mistake now. If she wanted revenge, she had to hit the heart, the evidence, and her honor.
Để trước cửa đó em ở nhà mà còn không thèm gọi shipper.